Oh, thank you for saying you look nice.
You said what now?
Nothing. Nothing.
Now, what'd you say for real? What'd you say?
I said, "Thank you for saying you look nice."
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks.
No, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, you do look nice though. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. What? Hold on. You do look nice though. Real
Thank
talk.
you. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I have a special guest, Miss 1950, but
Yeah.
we are not here to talk about relationships. No, we are here to talk about something that's more important and more serious: children and the education system. So it was an article that came out about a week ago. New Jersey teachers no longer require New Jersey teachers no longer required to pass state's basic literacy tests. So, under Act 1669, individuals seeking an instructional certificate in New Jersey no longer need to pass a basic skills test for reading, writing, and math. Now, New York, California, and I believe Arizona, they passed this same type of law where if you want to become a teacher, you could bypass the basic skills test. Me personally, I have a problem with that. I do believe that teachers should take and be able to pass the basic skills examination, especially when we require our students to do the same. Our public school system in America is the pits, and it really needs to be restructured. But I wanted to bring Mr. 1950 on because you actually work in the education system, and you could give us a firsthand account on teachers not required to take this basic skills test.
Yeah. So I used to work in educational system for many moons. What I wanted to say is really quick. In the in the black community, I think this needs to be celebrated, and I think that we don't understand how bad it is right now for education in general for all students. But if you guys only knew the amount of people that are actually watching your kids on a regular basis, then you guys would be clapping, standing up, clapping for this. It is an opportunity to get more people in education. There's a reason why people don't want to work in education. They're not working in education because the pay, the students are entitled, parents are entitled. There's so many laws that are, there in place for the kids, but never really for the staff members. These are people who are overworked and underpaid. But what I will say to the exact point of why they had to do this, they had to do it because if they didn't do it, then the school system was going to crash. And what I mean by that is after COVID, especially, it was already going on before COVID, but after COVID, especially, there was a huge amount of shortage of teachers. They're literally having staff members that are campus monitors or PE teachers, holding down 3 classrooms. It's 90 kids in the library, trying to teach them stuff. You'll be surprised how much of a shortage that your kid is actually involved with. But with these laws passing, you're gonna have individuals that are gonna come in and at least be able to assist and help and better the kids. There are so many people, especially in the communities, that they don't even want to work. A lot of these union schools and stuff like that, that a lot of these teachers are just showing them movies. A lot of these people will be able to go inside the classroom and actually teach these kids. You know, it's a lot of people don't even understand. It's 35 kids in each classroom to one teacher right now. Like it's too many kids, not enough teachers. It's going to crash.
So you think foregoing, because California already did this. You already
Mhm,
forego the basic skills test requirement. So you
mhm.
think this is going to help bring in more teachers, and that is one of the reasons the state of New Jersey said they passed this law because it is a teacher shortage. However, there were other educational experts who gave their opinion, and it was like, well, this is also a way for the teachers union to make more money, because if you become a teacher, that means you're paying teacher union dues, which brings in more money the more teachers you have. Now, mind you, just take the state of New Jersey. Depending on what city and what county, you get a fairly good education. But a city like Newark, New Jersey, which is predominantly Black and Hispanic, those children are reading below reading level and cannot pass the basic math tests. And they have $1 billion annual budget. So is it the amount of teachers coming in, or is it just simply a horrible school system? Also, let me add this, because I'm blaming the parents. I believe that the parents are not involved like they should. If
Mhm.
parents take the time out, take their kids to the library on the weekends, nobody utilizes the library anymore. These students don't even know the Dewey Decimal System. Putting kids in enrichment programs, or just taking extra time out to read and practice their math. And I'm talking about from kindergarten to eighth grade, which is the most vital years of the education. So, with that said, foregoing this, for me, letting go of this basic skills test is not going to solve the problem. It's just going to increase the pockets of the teachers union.
Well, yeah, it's going to do that too. I mean, they're going to get money. I was never a part of a union though. I was actually a charter schools my entire existence. So we don't function with a union. So everything we've done is basically for the students, right? So I didn't do the union thing, but again, there would be some that do, and if that's going to help your kid, then regardless of what money they're making, that needs to happen. That sacrifice needs to happen. I will say with the parents though, yeah, we can blame the parents. Yes, I agree, but you have to look at how society is when it comes to the parents now. First of all, the kids are the property of the state. You think that's your kid, but it's really not your kid. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you're not controlling the education that's being pumped into your child. You're not. You're not. You're not even in control of what your kid wants to identify as. You're not in control of what actually goes on at the campus. You can't stop programs that we suggest that's going to come teach your kid or you be a part of. You can't stop that if your
So,
child wants to be involved with that. I'm sorry.
what about the PTA?
Yeah, there's the PTA is in the 80s and 90s and ended in early 2000. The PTAs is for that's old school teaching. That doesn't exist anymore. PTAs, we you got to understand parents are not bridged to parents are bridged through sports, nothing else. Education, education is owned by the state. And I'm gonna continue to tell everyone, if you don't believe me, you ask to sit in your child's classroom, they're gonna ask you to come 48 hours later. And they're gonna prepare and they're gonna tell you what class that your child is gonna go in, and they're gonna have you come watch that little bit of time, and they're gonna have you usher you off campus. They don't need your approval in the neighborhood. Nothing is gonna happen to that school if you don't like it. There was a time before where parents actually had leverage and power. They don't have any leverage or power. The teachers do. The teachers run the school. So you have to understand, if the teachers is going to run the school, then you have to understand what they're going to pump what they want into your child, and that's exactly what happens. So I hear you when it comes to there's a shortage. I mean, I hear you, but somebody needs to make some money. If these individuals was paid correctly, your students will be having the people in front of them with some education on them, and they're going to be able to teach them the proper way. But right now, they need help bad.
Question. I want to, you said a lot. And okay, so I put my son, he never stepped foot in a public school since after first grade because I didn't like the direction. I put him in private and I just paid for it because I wanted to have to say so. And that is the difference, I believe, between private and public, whether it's charter or non charter public schools. It was a little bit different with my daughter because she went to a magnet school, but it was in a upper class suburbia, right? And what I find, because when you said that parents don't control anything or really don't have any power when it comes to the school systems. In certain districts, affluent, when you have a lot of stay-at-home moms, they do have a lot of say so. So, do you think when it comes to the social economic status of a family household is going to depend the quality and how much say so a parent have in their child's education?
Yeah, but even then, I mean, they don't. I mean, the curriculum is from the state, so they can't control that. You know, I will say though, you will have better children who have, you know, both parents, a mom who's really involved, the father who's involved. When you have that, of course, you're going to have a better product. But right now, the you know, from these states that you're talking about, if you notice, it's the big states that have an economic problem, and the parents are working two shifts and they're two jobs, and they're really depending on the state to teach their kids education. So, I mean, unfortunately, that's just what's going on right now. I mean, and so that's what's going to happen.
So, I want to bring in politics, right? Because politics plays a major part in the education system. Donald Trump inaugurated into the presidency for the second time January 20th, and he said that he wants to get rid of the education department on a federal level. What are
Good.
your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's good. You have to understand, the on the politics level, the schools are designed to teach kids to be liberals. The schools are designed for kids to be liberal. From how we talk to the kids, we can't really tell them the truth about life. How we have programs and clubs that are designed for certain communities that parents cannot have a say in. Um, for how we even teach government in school on how we, from the Black History Months, from the Latino Heritage Months to these organizations that come in and do things for the school. It's great to have the heritage and all that, but you have to understand the way it's taught of to separate, to divide. Um, if you're a kid in school and you're the majority at the school, the other majorities at the school are never ever looked after. I was at a 98% black school, so Black History Month was a thing, and then I had to eliminate. Me personally, I eliminate all slavery stuff. Like we're not gonna.
You wanted that? You wanted to
No,
eliminate.
I eliminated it. Yeah, we're not going to show any slaves here. I love Harriet Tubman's and all these Frederick Douglasses, and I love all these men. And when Harriet Tubman, and those individuals that they did great work in their time, but that's pumped down our throats, right? So, teaching kids of his, I'm just here. So, teaching kids of history of victimhood or being in a position of something they see on a regular basis. What do you believe? What do you believe they will think they are? What do you think they will come graduating school thinking they're oppressed? Or they would think they will come out educated in regards to their history? Well, there's a difference between knowledge of history and it being major reality. This did this happened, but at the end of the day, this is not your reality. The white man is not evil. All this is, I mean, if you look at how it's taught, if you look at everything that's taught in the school when it comes to those things, why is it when you talk about Black history, you only go at one particular time? We have a beautiful history, and it covers the globe. So there's no way that you don't have anything to teach. You're teaching what you call American history, but you're really not teaching the real American history, because we all know that Columbus wasn't here. Uh, we don't want to get it there. But what I'm saying is, we all know there's a reason why the holiday of Columbus Day went away. We all know what was going on, right?
Well, I understand what you're saying, even though you sound a little bit liberal-ish, that you
I'm
sound
not liberal
I know, but you
at
sound
all. Yeah.
um So this is they don't this is what I'm saying. Slavery is part of American history along with a whole everything else. It's a part of American history. Now, there is a reason why Black History Month is in February, but we also have Hispanic History Month. So, and it's nothing wrong with having a month for a
It
group
is.
to celebrate. But when we're talking about the education system, we
No, it
should.
is. There's something wrong with that. It's something wrong with celebrating history and heritage. For the month, like you gotta understand, you're still teaching separate. We're not teaching any unification, but you're teaching differences between people.
I,
And
I
so
think
when
I think you are highlighting different groups of people history. However, specifically slavery here in America, that is part of American history along
Mhm,
with other things. But even if you take slavery out and leave everything else in, what they have in these history books in school is not even accurate and not the full picture. They don't even
mhm.
teach civics. That is a part of our history, the Constitution. So if you're not going to teach about the Constitution, but you're saying you're teaching about history, but you don't want to add in slavery, then you're not teaching the right history. You're not teaching a correct history. So it's not about leave this out because of victimhood. It's about telling the truth.
No, I
And
didn't say leave it out. I didn't, but what they're doing is they're pumping it every single year from the kid from the 1 years old to the 12th grade. So if you're pumping the same material and you're not going beyond that, what do you think their thought process is going to be when they leave high school? What do
I
you think this is going to be? This is what if they only teach this when
right.
we're this.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So what I'm saying is I'm not saying that you should leave it out totally, but we don't need to teach it every year. We
Right.
we don't need to show these images every year.
Mm. It's
Why do they got
the whole
pictures hanging up for Black History Month? And then you're going to have inclusion communities also in Black History Month. Why are you combining the two?
yeah, I have a problem with that too.
Oh, I'm just saying in general, if a
Uh-huh.
lot of people really want to talk about what's going on, that's what's going on. But
Mhm.
they're including it. But you won't see that in Latino Heritage Month. You will not see that in Latino Heritage Month. And
Right.
they don't even talk about the Asian Americans. They don't even talk about, the railroads and all that and what they do to help. They don't want to they don't even speak on that.
Mhm, mhm.
So what I'm saying is there's a method to design kids to not feel like they're enough. And if they feel like they're not enough, they're going to feel oppressed. And if they feel oppressed, then they're going to become a liberal soldier.
Well said, and I agree with that. Um, I wanna bring this into the fold, Black boys in the education system. I wanna get your thoughts on that because I think that for the past decade, there has been a shift where the emphasis is falling more on Black girls and Black boys are being left out. You have a school to prison pipeline, that is a real thing, and I'm pretty sure you can talk to this, because you've been in the education system for a very long time. So Black boys and education, like what is going on? What's the problem there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot, but the Black boys' problem in education is really fatherless child. Mothers, bless their hearts. And I'm not here to bash mothers, right? Mothers only can do what they can, but women are destroying the boys. They have they have mentally built men of what they believe men should be. Very emotional, very aggressive, overly aggressive when need be. Um, they don't know how to regulate their emotions anyway. They're young, but when you have active mothers that are ready to protect their babies, mother bear coming down to the school whoever's messing with my baby, they gonna see me. And when these boys see that, this is how they act, and this is how they act at school. That's one part of it. That's the physical part of it. The mental part of it is that boys are taught different. Boys are not taught different than girls. And we know that boys and girls are nowhere alike, nothing alike. Girls can sit in the classroom, very young age, learn, somebody's standing up there in the front. Boys are about more physical, more movement, um, more hands-on. And the way they're teaching boys is the same as girls, and you expect a different outcome. It's wild to me that we have so many geniuses and so many genius in this world, and so many people who create softwares and AIs to copy people and do all these things, but they haven't figured that out yet.
What is the solution? Because I get it, mom shouldn't be overbearing when it comes to boys. And, I have 4 grandkids, and my 2 grandsons, they like to move around. They do learn differently than from their sisters, but they're smart. They're actually smarter than their sisters to some degree. But that's when dad comes into play. So when you have a lot of single mother households, it's important to have that male figure in the school systems, and we don't see that. So do you think, going back to this basic skills requirement that they are getting rid of, do you think that will help bring more men into the school?
Yeah, of course. And also that's a problem too. I mean, men only make up 7% of the whole school system, and black men is less than that. It's like 3% or something. I mean, it's pretty, a pretty small number. So that should increase. But teaching is really a, women's area, right? The nurturing of it, the caring about it, the able to, help with their emotions, in certain ways. I mean, women are very skilled at that, but men are needed for the balance. There's no real balance, and there's not enough men for boys to see how men are really supposed to be. You got to remember too, we got to have certain type of men in schools. We can't just have, just like certain type of fathers. We can't have a father that's not the head of his own household, and he's trying to, come up there for his son. I mean, his son is not going to respect him. Everything's run through mommy. And everything's run through mommy, then everything that it's this unnatural level of authority. And that's not even how it's designed to be. So it'll help. It'll help and get a lot more men in. I need to bring back trades in schools too for men. That they're not really having trades in school. There's no more welding. There's construction. They need to have these type of programs in the schools in order for them to be able to be more hands-on too. A lot of men now are going in cosmetology and stuff, man. Because they're offered in school now. You know what I mean? So
Well, listen, we cannot cram everything about the education system, in this short period of time, but I really do appreciate you coming on my platform. Definitely want to have you come back
yeah, most
because
definitely, most definitely.
this is a topic that needs to continue to be talked about and brought to the forefront. Not just to talk about it, but you are coming from a position to where you could actually give solutions and suggestions for parents, for the community, and other educational institutions, whether it's independent, private, or public. So thank you again, Mr. 1950. And I want everyone to go to his YouTube channel, Mr. 1950 on YouTube. But please, in conclusion, do you have anything else you wanted to add to this?
Yeah, I think if you want different, vote different. And I think if you want more, be more involved.
Mhm. Well said. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I will see you in the next Dana with the Data video. Bye.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.